Round 12 of the ANZ Championship got underway in Melbourne with the Vixens at home against the New South Wales Swifts. The West Coast Fever, after the bye last round, were back in action in Perth to take on the Queensland Firebirds. The late game on Sunday was in the deep south with the Southern Steel taking on the Tactix, and it was the Mystics at home to the Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic to close out round 12. So let's check out all the action. Saturday afternoon netball hit Melbourne with the highly fancied Vixens taking on the Swifts, who are looking for a 9-goal victory to take the Sergeant McInnes Cup. The Vixens started the better of the sides and looked to be easing into the match in the opening 15 minutes. At the other end, the Swifts were struggling to hit the target, with Susan Prattley shooting 4 from 10 for the period. The Swifts were still in touch at the first break, but the home side held a narrow 11-9 advantage. The Swifts blew the game apart in the second quarter, taking the period 14-6, looking composed on attack through the impressive shooting from Carla Dewaki. The damage could have been worse for the Vixens though, as the Swifts had 21 attempts to 6. But it was the visitors who held a 23-17 halftime lead. The Vixens fought back hard in the third quarter with a 13-9 scoreline, putting them back in the hunt. But the Swifts grabbed control in the final quarter, and with Sonia McCloma menacing in defence, helping the visitors take the final quarter 16-9, and in doing so winning the Sergeant McInnes Cup.
Our supporters back home and abroad have been so loyal to us this season, so our big ups to them. Without their support and loyalty throughout this season, I guess we wouldn't get that scoreline today, but it was a tough effort for us girls, and yeah, finally we got some points.
Challenge Stadium in Perth was the venue for the West Coast Fever and Queensland Firebirds in what was an important clash for the visitors' finals chances. The Firebirds were coming off consecutive losses and were looking to get their season back on track, but it was the Fever who scored the opening 2 goals of the match. The visitors soon settled, and at the midpoint of the opening period scored 9 unanswered goals to help them to a high-scoring 19-13 lead at the first break, despite a late rally from the Fever. Another error-ridden second quarter didn't help the home side, as they were again outplayed by the Firebirds, who were making things look easy at both ends of the court. The Firebirds held a 37-26 halftime lead. The Fever made it tougher for the visitors in the third quarter, but still lost the period by 3, and had it not been for some inaccurate shooting by the Firebirds, the margin could have been greater. It was a total demolition by the visitors in the final 15 minutes, as they put on a clinical performance, outscoring the Fever 21-10, taking the match 72-47 to put their season back on track.
Very happy with that performance. We did a bit of soul searching in the last week, coming off 2 losses. We definitely weren't playing very good netty and just needed to regroup, and that's what we did. And everything we spoke about doing as a team today, we did, and couldn't be more prouder.
The Southern Steel returned home and hosted the Tactix in Dunedin as they looked to keep their slim finals hopes alive. It was a high-scoring opening stanza as both defence ends struggled to contain the supply of ball into the shooting circle. The home side led 22-17 at the first change. It was more of the same for the Steel in the second quarter, but an improved defensive effort restricted the Tactix to just 13 goals while shooting 21 of their own. Janelle Fowler was unstoppable for the home side with 33 goals, helping her side to a 43-30 halftime advantage. The third period was a little more measured by both sides, but it was still high scoring, with the Steel taking it 18-15 and looked to be in total control. The Steel took the opportunity to introduce some young talent in the final quarter and still managed to win it 18-17. It was another record-breaking night for the Steel as they recorded their highest ANZ Championship score, and Janelle Fowler equalled her own record for the most goals in a single game with 65 from 69. The Steel took the match 79-62, ensuring they remain in the hunt for a semi-final spot.
It was a fantastic win. It was such a full team effort. We got everyone out there on court, and yeah, it was really great to come away with a good win.
The Trust Arena in Auckland was the host to the Northern Mystics up against the in-form Waikato Bay of Plenty Magic. It was a frantic opening to the match for both sides, but it was the Magic who put on 2 5-goal runs in the opening period to set up a 15-11 quarter-time advantage. The young Mystic side sprung into life in the second quarter, running with the defending champions. Kayla Cullen was outstanding for the home side as she picked up plenty of ball in defence, helping the Mystics to a 15-all quarter to trail by just 4 at the half, 26-30. The Mystics continued to apply the pressure in the third, with Bailey Mears outstanding for the home side. And while the Mystics won the third period 14-13, they lost Kayla Cullen in the dying seconds through injury, and trailing 40-43, you sensed her absence would hurt the home side. While Cullen did return briefly in the final stanza, she didn't last long and the Magic took full advantage. The visitors were clinical in the final 15 minutes, outscoring the Mystics 17-10 to take the match 60-50 to keep their semi-finals chances on track.
We just couldn't get our flow on attack, and on defence we just didn't get any ball. Big congratulations to them. I think they did a superb job on us, and yeah, we just got to go back and look at ourselves, because we're not going to make the top 4 or even win this competition by playing like that.
So after 12 rounds of the ANZ Championship, the Thunderbirds sit 2 games clear on top of the table and just 1 win away from their first minor premiership. Then it's the Firebirds, Vixens and Magic all holding their positions in the top 4.